Hey everybody, it's J.O. back with more Let's Play of Yu Yu Hakusho, this time the first round of the Dark Tournament and everything that comes just before and just after it anyway. So, in the story of Yu Yu Hakusho, such as it is, there is actually a preliminary to the preliminary. Before they even get to the island and begin the tournament, they're told that there's an overflow of teams of the people arriving on the boat to the islands, and so what they are going to do is only pick one team on the boat, and they, we're going to figure out some way to round it down fairly, and all the demons basically said, well, we're not going to let the humans be the one team. Why don't we, all of us demon teams, kill off the humans first, and then we'll fight amongst ourselves. So, our heroes, obviously I don't know what I'm doing here, by the way. The fighting does get better, I promise, but when I first started playing this, I was like, oh yeah, what are the moves again? Thankfully, though, and this is in canon, I guess, with the show, I was saved by the fact that it takes just one shot to kill all these guys, because the masked fighter is, the masked fighter, it's actually Genkai, I think everybody knows that, she's supposed to be incredibly strong, so they let us pick off these guys very easily, but in a minute, the cheating is over, and I have to fight these guys the conventional ways, you'll see. So first they all try to gang up on the team, and Genkai just sort of kills all of them in one shot. But unfortunately the demons decide that this is still not right, and so therefore instead of just having one person from each team gang up on the humans, they have everybody on the boat just start killing each other. And that's a fun thing. The Yusuke is asleep through all of this, by the way. So he's asleep, so you can only use these three characters in the match, and they do it tag team style. You'll see here in a minute. Oh dear. So yeah. Also, apparently this pirate is a demon, and he doesn't look. I mean, don't demons regenerate? Why does he only have one hand, the hook, and why does he look so human? I know a lot of the demons look human, like Chu, who you're gonna see later, but I don't know. I never got that. Lower level demons look nasty, and like upper level demons look human. I don't get it. It's a something. It has to do with yokai being shapeshifters and stuff, I guess. Anyway, so this is supposed to be a tag team match, but you're never going to see me tag team. Every time I try to tag out, I hate fighting with Kuwabara. I hate it, so I tried to switch him out, and I couldn't figure it out. I think they said to hold R2, but that didn't work. So I went, oh fuck it, and just started fighting with Kuwabara here, as you can see. You're going to hear Hiei's voice, awesome Chuck Huber, who voices Hiei, berating me for not tagging out throughout this match. And it's like, I couldn't do it, I tried, so I just fought with Kuwabara until he died. I can't stand fighting with Kuwabara. See, he's bitching at me. It's like, dude, I would if I could, I can't figure out how. Thankfully, these guys were really easy, so it didn't give me a really hard time, but yeah, these opening matches sucked. I was shocked when I got to the Dark Tournament that it turned out as well as it did. Also, he's still bitching at me. Anyway, I couldn't use any of my spirit energy here. I was trying to figure out how there's a move Kuwabara has where he can power his spirit energy back up, and or use what he has to heal himself, and that didn't work. I couldn't figure out how to do that either, so this was an embarrassing match. And so I just died, and I was like, okay, good. I don't have to fight with stupid Kuwabara anymore. And that guy left because he is a badass and does the oh yeah, I just drew my sword and killed that guy. Nice. But anyway, so the matches here aren't the greatest in the world, but I learned something interesting from the comments, which, by the way, the reason I'm doing another one of these so soon is that people were, like, asking for them. I know, I'm shocked. Like, normally I get one or two people asking for more Let's Plays of any given thing I do, but for this I had many people telling me, oh, I really want to see more Yu Yu Hakusho, and I'm like, well, really? Is it a crappy fighting game? Are you sure? So, because a lot of people watched it and a lot of people want more of it, fuck it, I guess I'll do another one. But what I learned from the comments, surprisingly, this fighting game has a steep learning curve and is actually really difficult. I mean, like, that's what everybody said, and I was like, what, really? I thought it was just sort of a crappy game, and they're like, no, like, what was so frustrating about this was it's really hard, and I was like, this is a hard fighting game, really? Like, I'd hate to play an easy one. Not that it isn't difficult for me, and I had a lot of trouble, but I kind of figured it was because the controls were crappy, but so I felt better. I was like, oh, wow, I've beat a hard fighting game then. I feel so proud of myself, you know. And so, yeah, things get better once we get into the tournament here. And in the show, things get better once we get into the tournament as well. Unfortunately, the first person we have to fight here, and Kuwabara, of course, gets to fight him because he's the weakest of the team, is this little kid here who fights, I shit you not, I don't think you can see them very well in this fight, but he fights with yo-yos. He has magical demon yo-yos that lock onto people's energy signatures and spin and, you know, like evil yo-yos. It was weird. And he also, like, does this ghosting thing, like double team thing where he multiplies himself or whatever. It was a weird character, and I wish I could say, well, that's all that we ever saw of him, but he does return. He was around a little bit later in the series as well, and I always found him incredibly annoying. Anyway, so, oh yeah, another thing I need to comment on, I apologize in advance that the video is a little bit shit, and, there we go, that worked, okay. You can break your sword, your energy sword into smaller little bits and fire it, that was the shrapnel sword thing. That's kind of badass. But I meant to mention that the video quality on this is a bit shit. I wish you could have seen that a little more clearly. Basically what I did was jumped over him and then lengthened my sword and it switched back around underneath me and hit him in the back. That's kind of cool. But I don't know why I'm bragging about it because I believe I lose this round. Yeah, I do. Okay. Thankfully I have one more round to make up for it. But yeah, so people were telling me this is actually a hard game, so I feel better about kind of having a hard time getting through it sometimes. So, in this match, Kuwabara is defeated, actually. Now, obviously, in order to advance, you do have to beat this guy in battle, but, technically speaking, in the show, Kuwabara lost this match. And how did he lose it? He lost it because he got a ring out. He was tossed out of the ring. He wasn't, like, you know, killed or anything. But Rinku heals himself, that's also annoying. And he was in, like, an argument or a fight with the referee or Yusuke 1, something like that, and he misses the 10 count to get back in the ring. They're like, you know, 10, 9, 8, or whatever, and he's, like, got 4 seconds, and he wastes it going, like, you know, did you insult me? Did you insult me? You know, come here and say that to my face. And they're like, oh, God, don't, ring out. Oh, my God, Kuwabara, you just lost that match for completely stupid reasons. So yeah, but at least he survived. Rinku was pretty much going to kick his ass with yo-yos, just to drive home how unfortunately weak Kuwabara is. So in keeping with the whole canon in the show, it's hard to translate directly into a fighting game, but boy did they try. This next match, allow me to introduce my little Peter Lorre Roto there. The character's name is Roto, and the guy playing him in the dub has a Peter Lorre impression going on. And if you think that's weird and Digimon-ish, there are worse. there's weirder shit going on. They did all sorts of fun stuff with the voices that they wouldn't do now in dubbing, I don't think, but I kind of miss the old ghetto way of just adding random accents to characters and stuff like that for fun. But in the story, what happened here was this Roto guy, as you can tell by looking at him, he's very grotesque and not at all human-looking, so therefore he's very weak little demon. So there was no way he could beat Kurama, and Kurama knows this, and he actually gives him the opportunity to forfeit. And he says, well, no, what I've done is, he has a twin brother in the human world who is watching Kurama's mother. And he has that button, as you saw, that's a signal for the demon to, you know, rip her head off and eat it, basically what demons do. And so Kurama, protective of his mother, doesn't lay a finger on Roto. And you can't do that in this match, obviously. So what they ended up doing... okay, see what I did there? I'm going to do it a couple more times so I can talk about it in a minute. But, also, Kurama... I'm okay with fighting with him. You have to be a smart fighter when you fight as Kurama. And what I did there, technically, that doesn't come in the story till later, that transformation that he has. But, Death Ray is nice. But okay, so because they couldn't have you just stand there and let him hit you, which happens in the story, what they did was they took his brother, that ghostly thing that you see swirling around the ring, and have him hit you. Well, okay, this round, I don't remember, I think I lose it because I'm standing still for too long and his brother hits me. So basically the ghost brother will attack you and give Roto an opening to attack you more. But that's not exactly what happened in the show. What happened in the show was, okay, see that? Now that's right there. The big thorny thing that wrapped around Roto is an attack, there we go, called Seed of the Death Plant. And I did that a lot just because I was trying to, you know, keep with the show's canon, because that's what happened. In the story, Roto beats up on him, he just sort of stands there and takes it, and then while Roto isn't looking, there is a little cut on his chest or something from a little hit that he got in, and I think he threw a rock at him, a pebble, and scratched his chest. And while he's hitting him, Kurama sticks a seed in his body. It's the death plant, and the more Roto hits him, the more Roto runs around and the blood circulates in his body, the more this thing grows and gets inside his bloodstream. And at the end, it bursts through, these thorns burst through Roto's body and swallow him up. This flower eats him. Like you saw in the game here, these thorns burst out of his body. And it was very gruesome, but it was a really cool little match, because, you know, you definitely did not expect that to happen. You were kind of wondering, how's Kurama going to get out of this, because he can't hit the guy, because then he'll have his brother, you know, kill Kurama's mother, and nope, he just explodes in a big, thorny, very bloody mess. This is kind of a bloody show. Okay, so now this match is interesting, and this is also a weird match in terms of what happened in the story, but they kept it the same. What you do here in the match is, Zero is annoying too, is exactly what you do in the, okay, so Zero was one of the seeds. By seeds, I don't mean the kind you plant in somebody's body and they explode in thorns. I mean, he was one of the toughest fighters, supposedly, in the tournament, but they face him first, and so Hiei volunteers to go ahead and fight him. Hiei knows full well that he kind of can't beat this guy, and they, what he does is he decides to try this technique, which basically involves summoning a powerful dark dragon demon from the underworld. And the bad news is, and you'll watch here, boom! What will happen if Hiei doesn't hit Zero with that is he'll get killed. So that's what happened right there. But that is the only, in this match, that is the only attack that can hurt him. You can do whatever you want to Zero in this match, and it won't even make a dent. And Zero attacks you relentlessly, as you can see here with the flames. And so yeah, what happened in the show was he just obliterated Hiei. Hiei survived, but just barely. And then so Hiei decided it was times were dire enough, and he doesn't bat an eyelash. He tries to be cool about it, but times are dire enough that he needs to summon this, you know, dragon from the depths of hell, and it turns Zero into a, you know, in about 2 seconds flat, turns him into a charcoal pile. He is literally a stain on the back wall. There we go. So what you have to do in this match is you can't summon it immediately, because as you noticed when I did that in the first match, it ate me, because Zero saw me doing it and blocked it. So I had to delay for long enough till he left his guard down, and then when I noticed he wasn't blocking for a short amount of time, I went ahead and summoned it. And that's how you beat it. Now the downside to this, as you can see, Hiei's arm, well, we'll come back to that later, but everybody's really impressed. They're like, oh wow, we'll get through this tournament, no problem, if Hiei can summon that thing from, you know, hell instantly. And they go, well, he had to pay a little bit of a price for it, so that'll come later. And now, thankfully, after all these trick matches, well, Kuwabara's was a regular fighting match, but after all these trick matches, we get, we apparently get Kent Williams doing an Australian accent. That's, yeah, for those of you that know voice acting much, you probably know who Kent Williams is.
It is Brady.
And he's doing...
Let's go, you sooks. I want to get a good brawl in before my fun wears off.
I want to say a bad Australian accent, but considering some of the other accents that you'll hear later in the show or in this game, too, it could be worse. I'm not going to say any more than that till it comes up. But Chu here is a drunken master, and so he... Well, you're going to see in this fight with Yusuke. Thankfully, this is a very conventional brawl. There's no special rules like the Hiei fight where I had to summon the dragon, and that's the only thing I can do. There's nothing like the Kurama fight where this other guy's attacking it. This is just straight up a match. And, I like fighting as Yusuke, but Chu is frustrating. This was one of the harder matches, and the fact that I beat it the first time around was a miracle. Chu is pretty hard to fight, because you'll see what he does here. His attacks are very strong. He hits you once, and you are down for a little bit. And then you'd think, okay, that means he's slow. No, he's not slow either. He teleports pretty instantaneously. He's a drunk... See, look at that. Okay, so he's a drunken master, so he does that whole acting in a irrational, weird manner thing, so... Oh! See, okay, what I did there was the Spirit Cuffs move, which strengthens your spirit power and ramps it up to full until you get hit. But it didn't help me because I got hit immediately after I did that. So Chu is very strong and very fast all at the same time. So I was like, well, I'm screwed. So I just started cheating. Yeah, see, I just started cheating and shooting him. Which I was like, screw the martial arts. There we go. I threw him, and that somehow worked. I don't know. So what happens, as you can see, that all these are clips from the show, by the way, if you haven't seen it. It's a fun, my favorite shonen show. They're very fun fighting shonen kind of anime if you like that sort of thing.
But that's about it, right?
But yeah, they wear each other out.